Hey guys, we're Greg and Jess of Drifter Journey, and today we're going to talk to you about Campervan RV insurance, more specifically DIY build camper insurance.
So in this video, we are going to talk about why we went with Doug Markworth, a State Farm insurance agent, and his team in Rapid City, South Dakota, the type of policies that they offer, as well as reasons to switch to South Dakota residency if you're not already a resident there.
So you may have just finished a DIY build or bought a van from someone else, but you just spent a bunch of money and now you're to the point where you need vehicle insurance. We've been in our van, this one for a year, our previous one for 2.5 years, full time, and yeah, we ran into this same issue when we were looking for insurance, and it became kind of stressful. So when we recently switched to South Dakota residency, we had to do it all over again. And we called a couple agents, and there were several companies that didn't respond at all. There were 2 that just straight denied us. There was one that said, you know, we could probably do it, and then had me send a bunch of pictures of the van, and as you can see, it's a very beautiful van. Sent beautiful pictures, and they replied to let me know that they needed RVIA, I believe is what it was, certification. So I looked into that, and it's pretty much impossible unless you are a company that is already doing that. So we were a little disheartened, and then we actually got a message on Instagram from some friends that told us about Doug and his team. We gave him a ring, and it was perfect, actually. So we were already in Rapid City getting our driver's licenses, and started going back and forth talking to Doug and his team, and they happened to be right across the street from the DMV. So they told us to just swing in after we got our licenses, and we could go over a few things. So we did.
Yeah, the nice thing about working with Doug and his team is that you can feel very comfortable with being open that it's a DIY van. That was a lot of the big problems that we had in talking to these insurance agencies, is that it feels like you have to be kind of like cagey or not totally transparent about the fact that you built it yourself or that you're even living in it full time. You know, they ask these questions as if it's like gonna be a bad thing or they're not gonna insure you, but Doug's totally on it. He knows his stuff. He offers van policies, motorhome policies that cover the labor, so the time that you've invested in your build, as well as the cost of materials. So they basically take all of that into account when they're building your policy with you.
Yeah, so he literally asks, he goes, how many hours did you work on it, and what's your time worth? So we've seen some folks that think their time is worth $150 an hour, and others that say their time is worth $25 an hour. So yeah. In the end, you know, you're going to insure your vehicle to what you think you need, and they can write a policy up for that. So the great thing, when we went in person, we met with Becca actually when we got in there, and she was able to pull up this big computer screen for us and just do a bunch of side-by-side plans and show us the breakdown and the cost of each. They had some plans all the way down to $0 deductibles. Mm-hmm. We ended up going with a $0 comprehensive deductible, but we did put a collision deductible on pretty high to keep the cost down. But yeah, so that was pretty cool, because we could literally just sit in there and say like, well, change that to 0 and see what it does, and then pop it up to $2,000 and see what it does, and then figure out what was the perfect spot for what you need for coverage, and not hitting the pocketbook too hard when something, hopefully nothing happens, but when something may happen in the future. Right.
Yeah, and that's the same goes for any of their policies. They're really easy to work with to help get you the coverage that you need at the price point that you want to spend. So for example, we also insured our motorcycle with them, and it was the same kind of experience. You know, you put the vehicle in there and then start tweaking, you know, how much you want for your deductible, etc. And we ended up getting a pretty comparable policy to what we had before. So
yeah, we're covered. So yeah, next thing you may be asking, well, how do I get in touch with Doug and his team? His phone number, 605-718-5050. We will pop it up somewhere on the screen and put it down below for you so that you can find it. And what else you want to tell them?
So obviously you do have to be a South Dakota resident in order to get insurance through Doug. So we'll talk about
some reasons to switch.
Yeah, some reasons to switch, but real quick we'll just review the type of policies that they offer.
Yeah, so they have your standard, I'm just going to read them because I wrote a list down, but basically we said they have RV because that's what we're talking about right now. They have home, auto, renter's insurance, life insurance, motorcycle, which we did a motorcycle policy with them, personal belongings, which could be a big one for full-time travelers. So you know, I know that some of you guys may or may not have computers and
camera
outdoor
equipment,
gear, and all kinds of stuff in your vehicle or RV. That is quite expensive actually. So they have separate policies that you can get for that. Boat policies, UTV, ATV, short-term disability, and farm and ranch. So basically, I think they probably do pretty much anything you need insurance for. So if you do need anything, they were wonderful. Give them a ring, see if they can help you out. And then, yeah, the last thing to talk about would be reasons to switch to South Dakota if you haven't already. But yeah, there's no state income tax. The registration price for vehicles was quite a bit less than Colorado for us. So we were due up to renew this one for the second time. It was $450, and in South Dakota I think it was only $110. So quite a bit less there. And the motorcycle was pretty cheap too. I don't remember what we paid overall, but it was cheap. And then the last thing, there's no vehicle inspections, so no smog or emissions testing, anything like that. And if you need to know more about switching to South Dakota, we did already do a video about becoming South Dakota residents, so we will link that above. Give that a whirl, check it out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ask us any questions in the comment section about this process.
Yeah, I would say if insurance is a really big concern for you and you're having a hard time finding it, that alone is a big reason to switch to South Dakota, just so that you know that you have a policy that covers your beautiful work. It definitely helps us a little bit, gives us a little bit more peace of mind so that we can be out adventuring and having fun instead of worrying about, you know, whether or not we're covered if someone breaks into the van or if someone runs into the van, or etc.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Doug was wonderful. We would love to work with him again, and we will keep working with them.
Yeah, definitely give Doug and Rebecca a call. Once again, they're in Rapid City, South Dakota, and we will link all of their information in the description below.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for watching.